Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier, Mike's Instant Movie Review. Just saw, just moments ago, get out of the theater. Quiet Place, Day One. So this is a prequel. This is a prequel to the first two movies that have come out. John Krasinski, our buddy Jim from The Office, who directed all these things, good for him. He's not in this one unless I forgot something. Lupita, I believe, wasn't she in the Black Panther movies and everything else? Very successful actress. Wasn't she in, was she the lady in Us? I'm sorry, I get everyone confused. Everyone's so famous, I can't remember everything that everybody does. So, I mean, I, for the most part, enjoyed this one. Thought it was good. I mean, I kind of went into this thing tonight. One person that I know saw the movie yesterday, which was Thursday, in some type of preview screening. And unfortunately for me, I really hate going into a theater, going into a movie with thoughts, like other people's thoughts. I try to avoid reviews like this one. I try to avoid video reviews or just word of mouth or Twitter fucks or whatever the hell else people have to give their goddamn opinion on before I see something. I want to be a blank slate, but this nice person, and it was kind of my fault because I know they'd seen the movie. So what I said to this individual was, hey, I'm going to go see that movie, tonight. We'll talk about it after I see it. Now, I guess what I didn't spell out in handwriting is, please don't give me your fucking opinion before I go see the movie, because I like to go in blank. I did not spell that out, and I forgot the rule of everything. You have to always spell things out for people, because this individual, who's a nice, fine person, proceeded to tell me that they didn't think the movie was that good. Well, then I kind of shut them off. I shut the conversation down. Tried not to be too abrupt about it, but it's like, but I forget, because most people don't give a shit. Most people, if they're going to go see a movie, they go, oh, I'm going to go see this fucking movie. Then some other asshole will say, oh, I saw it, it sucks. And the first individual asshole won't care that the first fucker or the second fucker said they didn't like the movie. They'll just go and see it anyway. I don't like to hear this back talk. I don't like to hear these opinions and viewpoints until after I've seen the movie and made my own opinion and viewpoint, okay? But I forgot most people aren't as in tune to the world as I am, the sorcery, whatever you want to call it, of the universe. I'm in touch. Most people are not. So anyway, also, I had some options tonight. I'm going to have to do the lights on and off, okay? Deal with it. I had some options tonight. Either I was going to see this in IMAX, but that probably would have cost me an hour of my life. And for various reasons, I was tired, okay? And I was just kind of like, I better see this movie now. And I got also with IMAX, for whatever the fuck reason, you don't get the recliner chairs in the IMAX auditoriums. So this auditorium, many seats were filled up, but I got a third row, and then when I got to my row, it was so close, and then I'm like, okay. So I sat back, and luckily for everyone, there wasn't anyone in this handicap section. I sat in the handicap section. There was no handicap people in the theater, in the auditorium. I always say the auditorium is the individual room for the screening, and the theater is the whole building. So in this auditorium, there was no handicap folks, no wheelchairs going on. So I had a nice kind of island to myself, and the screen wasn't bad, but I would suggest that if you do have the opportunity to see this one, this is probably a movie that will be enhanced by Dolby Digital screens or IMAX. So I didn't enjoy that situation. Now let's get to the main event, folks. I don't know how many screenwriters of you are out there, people that have investigated screenwriting. There's this famous screenwriting book by Blake Snyder titled Save the Cat. And I'll save you the $9 to buy the book. What is Save the Cat referring to? Basically, if you have a character in a script that's not particularly likable, at least not at first, before they do some great achievement. But you want to make this, unlikable character, if it happens to be your central character. If you want to make them likable, what you have them do is a little act of nobleness or bravery or kindness, i.e. saving a cat from a tree. And somewhere on YouTube land, there's a famous clip of this, of some Western movie. Clint Eastwood goes and, like, he's a bad guy, but he's like the central character type of deal, and he saves like a baby calf from drowning early in the movie. It's like one of the spaghetti westerns. And other films have done the save the cat routine in various ways, and basically you just show a little humanity, but it doesn't have to be to a cat or a dog, just something nice. An old person, help the old person cross the street, in any event. So in this one, we have our cancer ward in this hospital in the state of New York somewhere, outside of New York City. We meet Miss Lupita, whatever her character name is. She's suffering from cancer. She has this poem where she basically mocks all her fellow cancer patients. It seems like she has this kind of tingling sexual tension with one of the male nurses. But she's holding a cat the whole time. So she's a cat owner. She owns this cat. Next thing you know, the male nurse is inviting her to go on this little field trip to the city with the other cancer patients, the city being New York City. They end up at the fucking show. It's a marionette show. There's rows and rows of the cancer patients and other assorted people watching the show. The marionette show is kind of a fun little moment. And then after the show, she's insistent that they get pizza in the city. And this is what happens, folks, when you're dying of cancer or some other thing. You're trying to control whatever you can control. You're trying to suck the bone off the marrow of life, or the marrow off the bone of life. You're trying to get everything you can get. And for this poor lady who's, 30, 35 years old, she's dying of cancer. What does she want? She just wants a slice of New York City pizza with that New York City water, and you fold it and you eat it, and some guy named Sal makes it, and all this horse shit. So that's all she wants in life, is a slice of pizza. But the male nurse has the sad thing to tell her that something's going on in the city and we all have to get out. So they have their little skirmish, their little argument. She gets on the bus, she's all upset. And then she twists her neck, and everyone on the bus, and she's always listening to her headphones, all these other people on the bus are looking out the window, and lo and behold, the sky is falling, folks. There's these things coming in the sky. It does feel very 9/11-ish. And they are our old buddies from the previous, I guess you'd call them the sequels now, or the previous released day, Quiet movies, Quiet 1, or whatever the fuck. The monsters, whatever the fuck. They're like huge bats type of deal. You know what I mean? And so we're off to the races. And more or less everything that we've seen in the first two movies of human beings having to be quiet, having to avoid these creatures that are apparently allergic to water for whatever the fuck reason. And if you make any noise, they might hear you and kill you. Because I guess they're blind, like they can do all this happy horse shit, but they're blind, okay? And I guess they don't have smell either, because dogs, in case you didn't know, dogs see mostly through scent. So I don't know why these creatures can't smell things very well. But in any event, so what we get is basically like, an hour and 40 minutes of the same shit, which is human trying to avoid the monsters, throwing something through a window to make it crash so that the monsters go over there, and repeat and rinse and repeat. Now, I thought the movie was okay. We do meet this kind of other, or our male nurse there gets swallowed up at some point. And we meet this other white guy, Quinn, I guess Eric was the character's name. And he kind of creepy at first. I thought he was a little creepy. But he turns out sort of a love interest, I guess. I mean, to be honest, I think they had a big montage at the end. I believe I conked out. I think they're getting a little bit lovey-dovey. But we know, she's dying more or less. And she knows that she's pretty much a goner because of the cancer, if nothing else. And now she can't get help with her cancer because there's no medical facilities. So she wants her boy Eric there to take the cat and hit the road and get on the boat. And I believe one of the characters on the boat is in the future, the Quiet Day movies we've already seen. So I think he's a bridge character, you might say. Here's the problem with this sequel. Now, I thought it was okay. I mean, I thought it was decent. Like I said, I had this whole big sacrifice because once I heard my initial friend there didn't particularly like this movie, I'm like, you know what? I bet this movie is going to get shitty reviews. Everyone's going to Twitter, fuck it, how shitty it is. Before I get exposed to all that, I want to see it. But orchestrating my time and all my, things, I said, okay, I'll go see this movie now just to get it, more or less to get it over with. And that way I don't have to worry about it if people shit all over it on social media all weekend. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just see it and I'll be done with it. And I'll do my little review and life goes on. So after the movie ended, and, if you've seen it by now, the movie ends and I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's a nice little wrap me up. Basically, she's happy because she's in Harlem. She got her slice of pizza. I don't know if she got a stack of white dick for the last time or whatever. And her cat's safe and she's going off. And now she's got the earphones in and she unplugs her boombox headset to basically commit suicide by Monster, allowing the monster to hear the music, and she goes out on her terms, okay? The house lights come up, the movie's ended, and I see these, people are filing out of the theater, and this teenager, it looks like a, teenager or someone in their 20s, says to their little miscreant friends, the person said, oh, the first one was way better than this one. Okay. So now now it's all revealed. Now it all makes sense. It's, Kevin Spacey without the allegations at the end of The Usual Suspects. Like, it's all coming to me, which is basically what's happened with this prequel here is we've kind of jumped the shark, the Happy Days Fonzie reference, where the Happy Days show started to decline. People are now seeing the Quiet, like the thing that I liked about A Quiet Place and also the Abigail, the first couple of, whatever the fuck movies, the ones with Abigail, you know what I mean? The Conjuring, that'd be a good one. The Conjuring, like what I first liked about those movies 10 years ago was, oh, these are kind of like cool horror movies that are not our typical Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers or whatever the fuck. But now they're becoming that, basically. Like now, okay, we go see A Quiet Place movie, and instead of like this family suspense, everyone's going to be quiet, all this horse shit, now it's just, shh, the monsters will get you, and it's like every other goddamn monster movie. It's like Jaws 4 or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it's crossed from an interesting, unique story into now it's just repetitive. It's just the same old horse shit. And in this one, prequel, I think they really have the opportunity, and this is why I think people aren't liking this movie, at least, the one person I saw today and the one person tonight who made their statement. I think what's going on here is people are just like, you're not giving us any new revelation. Like this sequel or this prequel here, day one, we still don't know the origins of these fucking things. Unless I miss something, we don't know why these monsters are killing us, human beings, and why can't they see, and they have no personalities. That's the other thing. Like, at least with Jaws, it seemed like Jaws had a personality, and of course Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and all those fucks, Jason, they all, Pinhead, they all have different personalities. With these, they're just bats. They're just scary bats that kill you. So there's no layer to that. So, I mean, they just come randomly and they look like the fucking alien from the Aliens movie, and then that's it. So, yes, the first one was great, the first movie. The second one was pretty damn good too, but now we're just in a spin cycle where it's like, are you just going to say day 55? And it's just another fucking person trying to survive these assholes? I mean, it's just becoming lazy. Sorry, Krasinski. Sorry, Jim. Go tell Pam to have another kid, because these movies aren't doing it for us anymore, okay? So 3 out of 5 stars. MikeMessier.com. One Mike Messier. Subscribe to Mike Messier One Mike Messier, one man in the camera films, one artist, Mike Messier, one pro wrestling and sports fan, MikeMessier.com.